Hi, folks. It's Jason with MTGO Academy. Welcome to the latest installment of Dime a Dozen. 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 We are once again playing Standard Pauper. And this is a variation of the deck we piloted last time. We were playing Mono Black Devotion Splashing Red. Today we're playing Mono Black Devotion Splashing White. So the game plan is pretty much the same. We want to create a powerful board state with Devotion creatures, Disciple of Phoenix, and Gray Merchant of Asphodel, which is going to help swing the life totals, put our opponent under an extreme amount of pressure. And if that's not enough, we also have this huge Gurmag Angler we can power out for a relatively low cost. Now, the difference with this deck, instead of playing Lightning Strikes and Magma Spray, we're splashing for Pacifism, which is, of course, a limited all-star throughout the years, and it just helps us deal with a creature regardless of size. So this can take out opposing Gurmag Anglers, and it can take out small creatures as well. It's just pretty cost efficient, even for a constructed format like Standard Pauper. So we've added a few other interesting additions to the deck, but first I'm just going to talk about the mana base. It's pretty straightforward. We have four of the dual land scoured barrens. We've got four evolving wilds. Then we have three plains, so we have a total of 11 white sources. We have four radiant fountain, and even though these are colorless lands, we have ample enough color sources to make this worthwhile inclusion. And then the rest is swamps. I believe there's 10. Yeah, 10 swamps. So we've got 18 black sources, 11 white sources, a total of 25 lands, which may seem like a lot, but through testing, I feel that this is around the right number. We do have 5 drops in the deck and a lot of 4 drops. So the new inclusions are 2 copies of Typhoid Rats, which has replaced Baleful Eidolon. Because we're playing pacifism, the role of blanking big creatures that Baleful Eidolon was filling has somewhat been compensated for. But we still have a couple of Death Touch guys to make that plan a little more robust, and these are only 1 mana, so they're cheaper to cast than the Baleful Eidolon because the Bestow ability is pretty relevant, but I wasn't using it all that much, so I want to test out the Typhoid Rats, which I think might be worthwhile. Then another new incorporation is Sultai Emissary, a 1/1 for colorless black, and when it dies, you manifest the top card of your library. That means you make it a 2/2 morph, and you get to look at the underside of that morph, which tells you whether or not it's a creature card. And if it is a creature, you can flip it for its converted mana cost. So this gives us a 1/1 body, then a 2/2 body, so it's sort of like an undying creature. But then, if that 2/2 body is an Angler or a Vulturous Aven, we get to flip it later on to get an even larger body. And the reason we're playing this card is because we're incorporating this sort of Nantuko Husk package, which is creatures that work really well with Nantuko Husk to make Nantuko Husk a big beater to push through those board stalls that are so prevalent in the format and gain us value. So, for instance, Black Cat now becomes target opponent discards a card at random. Nantuko Husk gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Sultai Emissary, obviously, you can see the benefits. And then we're finishing it off with Dutiful Attendant, which, when he dies, brings another creature to our graveyard, or from our graveyard to our hand. So let's say we're in a game state where all we need to do is resolve Gray Merchant of Asphodel. Well, if we have one on the table, we can sack it to the Nantuko Husk and sack the Dutiful Attendant to get the Gray Merchant back. We're basically upgrading the Dutiful Attendant and turning him into a Gray Merchant. So that's something that could end up being relevant. And if you'll notice in the bottom right hand corner, Remedio 1 is a player I test with for this format and for Classic Heirloom, and I actually got this idea from him. So kudos to him. Thank you. I'm not even sure that he knows about that, but so that's the main deck. In the sideboard, we can go we can go a few different ways, but the main thing is, do we want to play a long grindy game against other control decks? If so, we board into the second, third, and fourth copy of Duress. We board into 2 copies of Mind Rot, which is actually pretty good in this format, believe it or not, and 2 copies of Macabre Waltz, or as I like to call it, Macabre Waltz. And I'm testing this card out. I don't know how good it is. It's sort of like Font of Return. It's filling that same slot. However, it only costs 2 mana and it gets you 2 creatures right away. But we have to make sure we sandbag a land or some other useless card so we can pitch it to this. We also have a bunch of removal spells if we want to interact with aggressive decks in the early game. So we have 2 Feast of Dreams for heroic creatures and bestow a debilitating injury. It's just a more expensive dead weight. Pillar of Light for large creatures like Gurmag Angler and Stampeding Elk Herd. Student of Ojutai, Grey Merchant of Asphodel. There's so many. We have 2 Revoke Existence, which I don't know is necessary, but there are some problematic auras. And then there is a Font of Return Auramancer deck, which not many people are playing. I actually don't think it's that great, but it is a very powerful engine. So maybe someone can make it work. Then lastly, we have a pseudo sweeper, Fester Gloom, which affects all creatures besides ours, and makes them get -1/-1 until end of turn. So that's for token producers, a Crow and Crusader. You get the idea. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed these matches of Standard Pauper, and thank you for tuning in to time. Welcome to round 1 of Monday Pauper Daily Challenge 30.05. We are on the draw, and we have a keepable hand. So we're going to keep, we need another swamp or basically any black source. But we've got some life. There's a weird thing going on at the site you register at, PDC Magic, and I think I know what my opponent's playing, so that's not necessarily a great thing, but we'll see if they keep 7 or not. See if I'm right. I think he's playing a green deck. Maybe has a tough mulligan decision. Maybe has a connection problem he keeps. We're going to keep. We're going to play. Let's go. So if I see a forest, I will not be surprised. And yeah, I haven't played this version of the Mono Black Devotion deck all that much, but I was fairly impressed by what I saw. So hopefully I was not wrong. Hopefully my instincts are good. And yeah, I guess I can check my connection here. I think I'm fine. I think he might be struggling. Sorry, getting really bad lag. Okay, Evolving Wilds. Yeah, he's got really bad lag, if that's the case. Well, hopefully it will solve itself. There is a forest, and there's exactly what we want on turn 1. So this is looking like it might not be like our last match, in which I finished the match with a minute left on my clock and was kind of frustrated. So between Emissary and Cat, it's not a huge difference. I guess Emissary gets us a 2-power creature afterwards, so maybe that's a little bit more relevant. So our sequence is looking pretty good. Play another creature next turn, and then play a Disciple. Take his best card, probably a 5-drop creature with a lot of power and toughness. So he's definitely going to have a threat by now. An Elvish Mystic is not exactly what I was expecting. And we have to be aware of tricks. I believe he's playing Aspect of Hydra and Might of the Masses. And I'm willing to trade my guy for either of those tricks. We'll start playing Fountains. Uh-oh, now I'm lagging. No, no! Okay. And for this, we'll just, again, play the Emissary for the same reason. And next up will be the Disciple, which will hit for 4. He's going to play a 5-drop. So that's not going to be easy to deal with, but we will at least get to see his entire hand. And I'm going to sip some water while we wait. I think he's got at least 1 or 2 tricks here. So, oh, he's got a Hooting Mandrills, I believe. Yep, cool. Well, that guy's not going to be easy to deal with, but we will eventually get there. The Trample is really the real killer. We do have a Gurmag Angler, but we're nowhere close to casting it. So let's just go ahead and gain some life, and we'll take, hopefully, his best card. Again, we're nowhere close to Angler. I might just start blocking this, but I'm not really sure. I don't know if that's actually the way to go. Let's see what we're working with here. Yep, that's what I was afraid of. Forest, Disciple, and he has 2 herds, but we're going to take 1. Then we're going to have to resolve Gurmag Angler in order to win this game. So, we'll take 1. And that's his hand. I'm not going to attack. We're going to have to set up some ridiculous gang block pretty soon. And then hopefully that'll be enough to get Angler. We're actually not too far off from Angler. If I just double block here, I can play Angler next turn. So maybe that's what I want to do. And I get a pair of 2/2 bodies. So I think I'm actually okay with that. And we get to manifest. We go to 23, but we're going back up to 25. We'll see what we manifest. We might even manifest Typhoid Rats or an Angler or something else. I think it's probably the case that I ended up possibly that I should have played Black Cat at some point. But having the 2/2s is actually really good because now we're going to be able to trade if he doesn't have a trick. Did he play his land this turn? Yeah, he played his land. Oh, and there's a Pacifism, but I don't think we want to use it yet. think we want to just go ahead and try and trade. This uses up our mana pretty well. And that should be it. There we go. Let's continue to play defensive. He is running a little bit low on steam, so he's going to be at the point where he's top decking, having to draw threat. And these are both blanks, as you can see, so we're fine with them being 2/2 creatures. Alright, so his hand is Disciple and Unknown. And that Unknown could be a number of things. If it's a trample spell, we're just going to have to let that happen. If he attacks, it's probably a trample spell. Okay, so he's got 6 devotion right now. So there's really no reasonable way for me to fight this. I think I'm just going to have to take the blocks. He's probably saving this and making me take 6. Then I can use pacifism. Might of the Masses gives him +4/+4. But if I try and play around Might of the Masses and put all guys on this, and then it's actually an aspect, it's a huge blowout. So I think this is reasonable. He's going to save one guy, basically trade his aspect for some damage and one of our guys. And then we have the pacifism. And then his other guy actually dies. So it's not too bad. I think he will save the elk herd. And he's drawing just like he wants to be drawing. Actually, it was Might of the Masses, but basically curving out all his threats and then having the pump spell. Okay, so I actually lose 3 guys. But we're still not in a terrible position despite this 3/3. We have a lot of card advantage available to us. I actually don't want to use that yet. So let's go ahead and just play our land, play our black cat, and then use a pacifism on this. I mean, there's obviously a chance he could do something pretty nasty. Or draw something pretty nasty, so we'll just hang back. We're fine taking 3 for a minute. I mean, any creature we draw will allow us to start to gang block. And his deck has a lot of scary Fatzos. So that's a bit of why I'm concerned about this matchup. But we need to start getting some card advantage, and we can possibly pull out of this. He could just as easily flood. So let's see. He's probably needs to play his card out before he attacks. If he attacks before doing it, that kind of telegraphs, I would say, a pump spell or something that he's going to use during combat rather than have the black cat take his card. I'm not going to block anyway, but that's something he needs to consider. So, okay, it's just a land. Out of the board, we're going to look to our Pillar of Light. Probably Debilitating Injury, just because it shrinks all of these guys to a very manageable size. Yep, I will take the damage. I'll go to 18. And I might even attack back with something, depending on my draw. My draw is a Plains. So I think I just attack for 1. I mean, we have to start deciding how much damage we actually want to take from this guy. And that attack might actually be bad, because if he attacks back, I'm probably not blocking, so I'm just letting him have an extra point of damage get in. Yep, that was kind of bad. So I guess we're going to use pacifism now. Depending, if we draw a blank, I think we just have to use pacifism. So I gave him an extra point. That's probably more than I want to give. We can, I guess, exploit here after we attack. He doesn't have a card to discard, but that's not necessarily a bad thing for us. Actually, kind of good that he's out of cards. Okay, what do we got? Oh, not bad, not bad, not bad. Okay, so I'm just going to play the rats. I think that's a decent swap. 1 mana threat for his 4 mana threat. And this gets around any type of pump spell. If he attacks with the Mystic, I'm not going to block with the Aven, because that's telegraphing a pump spell to me. Don't let this guy be so innocuous, because he can wear pumps just like anybody else, so we have to keep an eye on that. I'm not sure. I don't think we want Fester Gloom in this matchup. This is really his only one toughness guy. Okay, he's going to attack, and I'm going to snap block. So I think that means he has another threat. Like a sizable threat. So he doesn't. So it's a pump spell. I'm willing to take 1 hit from a pump spell. But probably not much more. Okay. If he attacks, I mean, pretty much telegraphing it. And this is that lovely part of the game where both players just flood out. But our lands are doing stuff, kind of. I mean, that's pretty much all that can be in his hand. If it's a land, it doesn't matter anyway, but pretty much an aspect of Hydra turned face up. This is really good for us. And that's even better. So he's going to take 5 after he takes 2. So that's going to... We're definitely pulling ahead here. And you can't take too many hits from a Resolved Grey Merchant, that's for sure. Okay, he's got a 3/4 reach. So at this stage, we're going to just want to put a removal spell on that. And we get to take his card. Now, this is going swimmingly. Well, that's unfortunate. Because I have the pacifism and I'm just going to crash for 5 here. That seems like the best play. Make sure he didn't get any hexproof or anything. Yep. Good old top tier limited removal. Making waves inconstructed. Dropping him to 6. Putting him in a very tricky spot. So the decision to put might on this guy worked out very well for us. And now his chump block means he has to draw something. If he draws a blank this turn, he can't win. So, I mean, I guess he could draw a Disciple. Yeah, Disciple can stabilize him. Sure. Well, I still get a crash in. I have another pacifism just for good measure. So we're lucking out here. We're going to take game one, it seems. I mean, he has to draw Disciple now. And we've got huge advantage on the clock. So that's good too. You never know when that might become relevant. And yeah, he's really flooded 10 lands. We drew 10 lands as well. It's turn 14, so we've been hitting a similar number of land drops. And these were manifested from the Sultai Emissary, which are chilling in exile right now. So he's at 4. If he plays Disciple, he goes up to 10 and has a 3/3. That's pretty good. We have a pacifism we can throw on. Alright, so we take game one. In textbook 14 turns, that's ballpark for this format. It's a slow format. So let's look at our deck. I don't think I want Duress, even though he does have 1 mana epic pump spells. We're more concerned with his creatures on the board. This is going to be one of our better creatures, as is this. These are guys that can just block everybody for profit. Read the Bones is going to help us fight in a prolonged battle. The Husk can get big enough to block his guys, and the Attendant can get us a bunch of value. The Black Cat just might be too small. We saw in that first game that I wasn't even really willing to block with the Black Cat. And it might be the case that we want to cut some of these. So with this current shell that we're looking at, and it's possible we may want to cut a land also, just to try and not flood out. I mean, we do have a bunch of 4-drops, a bunch of 5-drops, so I'm not really loving that proposition, but I think probably the most pivotal card is going to be this Pillar of Light, which hits the Stampeding Elk Herd, the Hooting Mandrills that reach outlast creature as well. Then the Debilitating Injury will kill some small guys and just shrink some of the bigger guys in a pinch. I don't think he's playing any Bestow, so I don't think we can use that. And that's probably all we're doing, actually. I mean, this can get some guys back. Maybe we want one of these. It's a cheaper Read the Bones proxy. Our guys are going to die because they're going to block. And we can get exactly what we want back. So it's virtual extra copies of a Death Touch guy, of an Angler. So I'll try it out. And then I think I still want that land. And I guess I'll play 2 copies of Black Cat. So we cut 2 Black Cats, a Read the Bones for Pillar of Light, Macabre Waltz, and Debilitating Injury. Okay, so I'm going to try it like this. Could be the case that we want some kind of attrition-y card like Mind Rot, but I'm really just trying to manage the board. Not always easy. Against mono green, it's definitely easier said than done. And we're on the draw. We can keep this hand, but we need to hit lands. It's a good thing we did not board out of that 25th land. And I will keep. We're on the draw. We can draw 2-drops. We can draw lands. We do have a removal spell we can use in a pinch. And I'm just going to sack. Now, there's really no surprise factor left to be had. We draw a castable guy. So next turn I'm hoping to draw a tapped land so I can just play rats. play the tapped land and be set to get the rest of this going. So what kind of 2-drops does he have? Does he have the 3/2 guy? Oh, he's got this guy. So he's not going to be attacking us for a while. Guess we're just going to get up our devotion here. Now we want an untapped land, which we have 12 in the deck, so our chances are, well, we have a better chance of drawing an untapped land than of drawing anything else. It's possible he might miss some lands too. A 2/4 for 3. That's a big body. But we do have a blocker, so I'm not going to do anything. And I will certainly trade. If we can trade 1-for-1 resources this entire game, we will win. I think. What do you guys think? I think based on what our hand is looking like, I think we're looking good. He's way ahead on the board. He is definitely ahead in this game. But the pressure is not so intense at the moment that we can't pull back. So this looks like a good... He could have a trick. I don't think there's a trick for 1 mana that gives indestructible. So we're behind on the board. I think this is probably our best chance to cast Read the Bones. It's not going to get any better, so we really want to set up those land drops. Kind of want both of these cards. Next turn I can injury something, and there's a chance he can activate this and play Emissary. Okay, this is not looking so bad. We also have enough in our yard to the point where if we kill something with the injury, we can cast Angler for 2 mana. So that might be the way we go. Alright, what is this? Okay, so he can activate this and crash in for 4, which he's going to do. So I think we actually kind of want the Emissary now. We have 2 of them, but it's not so great. So if his hand is 2 more pump spells, 2 aspects, we're probably just really in trouble. I think we can afford to put a pacifism on him because we're getting to the point where we're going to have an angler for his other guy. So I think we'll go pacifism emissary. And we really need to hit some land drops, because we're still behind. Definitely still behind. Now, okay, he's got 3 cards. He still has Formidable. Wow. Yeah, we're getting rocked right now. So I think we want to trade with one of these. And then we can injury like this guy or something and play Angler. I'll block whoever comes in. It's just one guy, so that kind of says he doesn't have a pump, but you know, I've been wrong before. We'll leave this guy alive because he has to keep putting mana into it. See what we manifest. Just a swamp. We also have a land, but I don't know that that does anything. 5 mana gets us not really anything. So we're gonna, I guess, injure this guy. In a debilitating manner. He's got, look at that, he's got smoke flying out of his arm. It's a steaming, festering wound. It's not very pretty. And he's sitting there. Maybe he has Ranger's Guile. And we will leave the emissary. And actually, we'll leave the rats in our graveyard. I was going to just throw everything out. But I drew the land. And now we're actually kind of stable, but pump spells will force through for damage. If we can untap, we get to take away his tricks and potentially win. Ooh, that's a lot of life. 2, 4, 6. And he still maybe has a pump. He's got 2, 4, 6 devotion. So I may just have to double block a 1-1. Yeah, I don't think I block anybody. Ooh, he's just going to... Oh, he activated. Well, I'm just gonna have to take that. I might end up taking 9. I mean, it's clearly a trick. I could chump block with the. No, I'd rather take his trick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, his devotion is 8. So that would actually drop me to 4. And if it's a Might of the Masses, it would drop me to 6. But then he's down to 1 card. He's playing off the top. It's a really curious attack. This chump block is kind of weak. But then if I take his pump spell away, we have a 1-3 and a 5. Yeah, I guess I'll chump. I guess one of the ways he wins is knocking us to such a low life total that we can't really get out of it. So hopefully one card is a blank. Yeah, we just got to run this and hope that that keeps him back. Not out of the woods. Like I said, we've been behind this whole time. But if we draw an untapped land, we can emissary into Aven, which is really good. We also might just emissary Disciple, depending on how scary his hand is looking. Okay. Target you. You. And there's his trick. So it's a +6/+6. But at this point, yeah, I guess that's actually scarier than a 3/3 when we have 5/5s. So I guess we take it. Because it just buys us so much more time. We're either taking 7 from this when he plays this guy out, or we're losing one of our guys. Okay, so we know his hand. He still has a bunch of guys. I do not want to answer a message from that guy. And neither should you. That guy is a total douchebag. So, back to our regularly scheduled broadcasts. Alright, we know his hand's Disciple. I can actually just steal it now. I don't have a problem doing that. We can also play Black Cat Emissary. Just gives us more bodies. But then he also gets Disciple. I think I'd rather steal the Disciple, because he's trying to go wide at this point. So this is kind of like a Flame Tongue Kavu for us. And this builds up our devotion. Well, it builds up our devotion the same, but so if he sends all, it's not a good sign. Okay, he whipped, so we definitely have some wiggle room here. His attacks are pretty bad. Ooh, and that guy's not too bad. So what do we want to do? Attendant Emissary, and then maybe we can get back Typhoid Rats or whatever if we exploit. It might also be worth it to get his card, but his card's hitting the table. Whatever he draws, he's going to use. So it's actually pretty worthless. Okay, hopefully we can steal this game in the air. Okay, so I think we can. I can trade off the attendant for the rats. I think that's okay. We can also just manifest this. Maybe that's better. You can just get a bigger guy. The rats is pretty good. We're probably going to want the rats, but we have a second Aven to handle that as well. Pillar of Light. And Grave Merchant, which is going to hit for 1,000,000. And that manifest is a blank. But now things are looking very good. They are looking very good indeed. I'm just going to leave the ground as is. If he holds his card, Black Cat's going to take it. Because I kind of want to leave Pillar of Light open if possible. He does have this Reach guy. I guess we have to get the Reach guy out of here. How much devotion do I actually have? Oh, he's coming. He's got Aspect. Oh, do we just lose to Aspect? Not really. We can block everything. We have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 devotion. If he's going to attack, he's got to attack all out, I would think. Well, maybe not. So, I mean, I'm blocking everything. Yeah, this attack is not bad. Not bad at all. So, I really want to kill this. If it's an aspect, we just lose, right? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. So he can only save one guy, but I guess Attendant gets me some value. So I could put Attendant and Morph on the 3/3. I could put Angler on this guy and Black Cat there. Black Cat's not great. I mean, Black Cat is not great, but he's just going to chump. And we have Pillar of Light. Something's going to die. He might pump this. I get Typhoid Rats back or Sultai Emissary. Sultai Emissary gets me an extra body. Typhoid Rats guaranteed kills. And he actually is really low on time. He has 5 minutes and 23 seconds to win the match. So, I mean, had he attacked with everyone, including these guys, we'd be in real deep water. Because Aspect is lethal on any guy. So we kind of have to just block everything. Then again, I mean, the Disciples eat these guys, and we have decent blockers, so we gotta check. I didn't even look at this. He can Mega. Oh, that's if he morphed, though. So as of now, it's just a 3/4 reach. Okay. So we have to figure out what we're doing next turn. Like, what the hell am I doing next turn? I could just get Emissary back. I have Aven. I could manifest. See, this is unfortunate because his pump spell just goes towards killing one guy. It doesn't go towards Hail Mary winning the game. I'd really love to leave up Pillar of Light, if that's at all possible. Okay. So, what did he do? Might of the Masses. Oh, to kill the angler. So I could just get the angler back if I want. One, two, three, four, five, six. Uh-oh. Messed up the blocking order. So I think I'd like to leave up Pillar of Light. We might just have to play Gary. Yeah, I think I'll get the rats. We're losing some value because we have Avon, but that's about it. We could also just play Rats Gary, and we have to fade a pump spell. But I think leaving up Pillar of Light is a little safer. However, who knows? Still get the morph. So maybe I can hold off. Oh, and we drew a land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think I'll just attack with the Avon. Still has a reach guy. Play Avon. Don't do anything with it. He has a 2-4. Yeah, I think that's actually okay. Attacking with the Avon is a little... this is fine. It's a little ambitious, but... it's not that bad. So currently we can exile either of these. Okay, he blanked. I think he's going to leave back the Bowmaster. So at this point I might just hit the Bowmaster. Okay, I'll block his 2-4 with a 2-3. There's no onboard tricks. There's nothing in hand. There's no flashback. Sending the 3-3 as well. Well, I think I'll just take 3 here. Didn't quite think about that. Like I said, it is a little ambitious. I think we just got to use the Pillar of Light at this point. Attack for 4. Gain a bunch. So if he has aspect 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, we're going to gain 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we're going to be at... yeah, I think we're safe. I mean, we're not in great position, but we want to use our mana. We want to turn the tide, give him very few outs here. I mean, if he draws an aspect, we're in pretty bad shape. But now we have 2 Garys, so this will really close things out if we play our cards right. We could just attack with everybody. That seems really ambitious. He has an O2 here, so I guess that's not great. Maybe I think sending the morph is a little ambitious, so... he has basically one turn to do something amazing. Because this other Grey Merchant's going to take him out. So I think our plan's okay. We're at 20. Yeah, it's GG. He can hit me with every creature on the table. It won't matter. Yep. I'll just take it. And as usual, in most games where we resolve 2 merchants, we win. And it's for exactly lethal. So that is a good start for this deck. Pretty happy with the results. So thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you to Kieran O'Hearn for playing, and we will talk to you guys in the next round. Round number 2 has begun. We've won the die roll. We are going to play first. And we are going to keep. Need another land, but shouldn't be too bad. Having Angler in the opening hand is always kind of, well, it's not super thrilling. It's nice to know that this card is in the deck, but green-white, not sure what that indicates. We did find our land, though. So I think we're off to a decent start. And let's get back to the game. Just nothing. So we'll go ahead and attack. Maybe. Am I lagging? What's going on? Yeah, I think I'm lagging. Why? Not now. Oh, that worked. Maybe I just misclicked. There is some lag. So I gotta be extra careful. Okay. He's off to a pretty slow start. Ooh. Outlast. So I think I want to Disciple first. I don't think he's going to block. He's not going to block. Rather hide the information. In fact, making him discard a random card is probably better than letting him show us 3 cards he wants to show us and taking one of those. He's on 3 lands. This guy's going to give dudes first strike. This is equalizing the clock a bit. Okay, Sandcrafter. Bolster 1 for 1 turn. 2/2. So that was the clear pick. Shield Bearer, I don't know what that does. And Celestial Flare, I know what that does. Well, this puts a +1/+1 counter on his guy. But we can pacify whatever he does. Takes up his whole turn. This guy megamorphs, becomes a 3/2 that puts, and then of course Celestial Flare. I think we're okay with Celestial Flare, so I guess I'll give him. This guy's a little trickier to even utilize. He's a 3/2, and he can do it at instant speed, so I'll take that. So he has Sandcrafter Mage and Celestial Flare. We get to take more cards after that. The first Disciple only makes the second one better, so he's gonna morph his guy. Ooh, I wonder what that could be. He's not going to attack. We're not going to attack into his board either. I think we just go with Disciple. Get to see his entire hand now. Figure out how we're gonna manage this. And this is just value too. This is 2 for 1 territory. Oh, so maybe he still has Sandcrafter in his hand. What is Pressure Point? Tap target creature, draw a card. That could get really annoying, but I think we're gonna give him all that stuff. 2 flare, 2 point, and just try and manage the board he currently has. So we have a lot of creatures. If he's gonna spend 2 mana to tap stuff down. It's not that bad. So this is going to become a 3/2 first striker, or this will. I'm assuming that this is what it is. Oh, it'll actually become a 4/3. So he's just going to outlast. Interesting. 3/2 first strike. That's a 2/2 we're not going to attack into. We basically know his hand. We could play 2 guys out. I maybe want to make him pull the trigger on one of these. I guess we should read this turn. So we need to get to lands. We need to fill the graveyard. Duress is not bad. Disciple is even better, but missing lands is kind of lame. But I guess we can just take apart his hand. He's missing lands too. We can just deal with this board with our pacifism. We might be okay. Right. Okay, so he's got a free blade too. I think I want to take away his ability to draw a card and get tempo. So if he just whacks us a couple times with some fat guys, it's not going to be a good time. Alright, let's just manage the board. We're doing okay. If he doesn't play free blade, we get a disciple away something. Probably another pressure point. He keeps missing lands. Oh, he's going to pressure point now. He's got a 3/2 first striker. He found a 1/1 that dies. It puts 1/1 counters on a guy. Guess we could double block this, but he has first strike, so that's not too good. So we can chump block. Is that something we want to do? Maybe. I mean, we could set up Attendant to get it back. This also takes a card, so we know his hand is all spells. So right now I'm just trying to take apart his hand. Now his board's really good. Maybe we pacifism here and attack. I think we have one turn to kind of take some lumps before we make that play. We know he has flare. We know he can tap a guy down. Alright. I'm just going to take his guy. I think I'm going to take his free blade. We know he has pressure point, flare, and free blade. Oh no, he doesn't have pressure point. We may want to take that guy instead. This guy, well, will become a 3/3 vigilance, but these guys can potentially just get bigger and bigger and bigger. So yeah. I don't know if this is absolutely correct, but the free blade can at most become... We're not really blocking anything. We're not blocking next turn, are we? Because we have to sack. What are we doing? I guess he could double block. We're just passing. Again, we might take a big hit, but... Okay. So we could actually triple block the Bondkin. His hand is Celestial Flare Unknown. And there's no 1-mana trick that like really punishes us. I think we just double pacifism. Could also play Typhoid Rats and Gurmag Angler. But then he's going to make me sack a blocker. We're kind of behind on the board. We need to play faster. So I'm actually going to go pacifism. I don't know if it's the right play, but I'm not entirely willing to take up so much time. I think we've got a bunch of spells in our hand and we need to get them out into play. So the sequencing in which we do it, while somewhat important, is not going to be as important as not timing out at this point. So his hand is Celestial Flare, something else. We can kill either guy. He can't Megamorph this yet. Okay. So let's just get onto the board. We're definitely playing 5 mana. I guess we're playing Rats and Angler. We can play Emissary Attendant. But Angler gets offensive quicker, however, he does have Celestial Flare, which we're going to try and make him just burn. Okay. I think it's just the same guy. It's hard to tell. Okay. Don't think we attack. We're setting him up for really huge Grey Merchants at some point. And he can, of course, we might even just make him use the Celestial Flare. And then we can get it back at some point. Because we know we're going to have to deal with it anyway. What is this? Choose one. Counter or search for a basic land. Search for a plains. And it's on the top of his library. And he has Celestial Flare up. I think we can just get the Flare out of his hand at this point. He can also gang block. I guess we don't have to do it yet. Nah, it's not worth it. It's not worth just giving him our biggest creature. Let's see what he said. Well, completely locked. I don't know about completely, but we'll see. We'll see. If we draw a Nantuko Husk, we can start doing some really interesting things. So, yep. 2/2 first striker. Can't use Celestial Flare. So now I can get in here. I mean, he can trade a bunch of guys. Only one of them has first strike. So I think I can get in if he wants to trade off some stuff. I'm okay with that. He's going to take it. Alright. F6 territory. Turn 12. We're way behind on the clock. We know his hand is Celestial Flare, 2 unknowns. This is probably another one of these. So, yep. It is a first striker. He's got a bunch of first strikers now. And I'm just going to pass because everything's gummed up. And we're going to either need to fly over or just hit Gary's. So when this guy dies, he puts all the +1 counters on somebody. Hunt the weak, put a +1/+1 counter. And he fights. Yep, he got through. Okay, and now the fun begins. So I can get back my disciple. Yeah, I'm willing to trade in the dutiful attendant for the disciple now. Now this is going to get really ugly. Especially if I draw a second attendant. And we can take his other card if we want. Oh, definitely taking that. And I guess I'll trade for that Celestial Flare. The the what's it called is not getting any better. And I'm not sure what I want to do with the emissaries, but I think I'm just going to sack them to get more information. We have creatures that we can get onto the board, which might be really good. I can also attack with this as like a 6/6, but he has 8 power worth or 7 power worth of first strike. So I guess I'll just sack now. Found an Aven, which is really good. Has no reach, and we found another emissary. And we drew a Read the Bones, so let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can play it, and we can flip the Aven and start attacking. Another Read the Bones and another Emissary. We're at a very high life total. I think I'll just keep both. Flip this guy. He has no reach. So I'll attack with him. And we could get to the point where we start getting really aggressive with the Husk, but we're not there yet. He drew another Morph. Ooh, there's the reach. I don't actually have a way to kill that guy. Everybody has reach. So I think I read the bones first before I start manifesting these guys. There's another Aven, but I don't know that we want it now that everybody has reach. I think we just want to hit him twice with Gray Merchant if possible. We have another Husk, which is kind of meh. I guess we play Emissary, play Husk. Husk gets in for like a ton of damage pretty soon. Oh, we're so far behind. So far behind. I mean, I really just need to find a Gray Merchant, or if I flip the Gray Merchant off of this guy, I need to find a Dutiful Attendant. Okay? So am I going to sack the Emissary? I think so. 2, 6, 2, 4, 6. Yeah, let's just sack it. We're trying to just get the victory here. It's a swamp, so that kind of just gets us further. So I think I'm going to draw 2 cards. We'll sacrifice the swamp. We could sacrifice the manifest. I forgot about that guy. Still no Gary. So I'll just pass. Gary is hiding from me. So the problem is if I manifest this, I miss on my chances of hitting Gary, so I'm gonna untap. That's a pacifism, which is okay. This guy's just gonna get real big, so I guess I use it. And again, he's got 7 power worth of first strike. I can sack this. Nah, I think we just pass. I mean, I could get really aggressive and start attacking with everybody, but I just don't see the point. I think if I just resolve one Gray Merchant, he loses. 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, he loses. On the spot. Okay, so that's interesting. I have 23 cards left in the deck. I don't even want to manifest. Um, 2, 4, 6, 8. No, we're just gonna wait. I'm just gonna take his last card. Not gonna read the message. It's taking way too much time. Oh, it's a planes. Alright, who's coming? Anybody? No. Dude, what the hell? Okay. Looks like he's gonna attack me. He's really going for it. This attack actually really sucks. It's not terrible. So let's manifest this or do what we gotta do. They all have trample. So what I'll do, and no onboard tricks, right? Okay. So we will kill this guy. Kill this guy. Kill... This guy only has trample. So trade with this guy. Trade with this guy. And do I want to take 7? This guy has first strike, which means he kills 1. If I double block here, I think I'll just take 4. Okay. He just got tired and actually saved me a lot of grief because I was really running out of time. I guess he just felt like he didn't have a chance. So our boarding is going to be very similar to the previous match, in which Black Cat was just not that exciting. We really want to get his guys out of there, so we need the removal spells. There was, again, no Bestow. We want some number of waltz. We might even want 2 this time, because he's got removal like you know. Not too impressed with the Black Cat. I think I'm going to do it like this. He's got removal like Celestial Flare. We got to play a lot smoother. Fortunately, we won the game, so... You know, the 12 minutes on the clock. We really need to win this next game, too. Okay, do I want 2 of these? Still have 23 creatures. Yeah, I do. I don't think I want the Black Cats. He seemed pretty frustrated. I need to play a lot faster, trying to adjust my mouse a bit. And yeah, we can keep. Alright, I'm going to try and go Sonic the Hedgehog mode here. I may just cast Pacifism on his next guy. Because I have, we have a few turns where we're not going to be doing anything. So I think I think this is fine. So we don't fall too behind. We don't want snowball effect to really ramp up. Like I said, we have nothing going for 2 more turns, so this time I will save the pacifism. But he is kind of curving out on us. Yep, hopefully no other guy. Might be a morph. Okay, so I'm gonna start with this, and we get to see almost all of his cards. Forest, and whatever that is. Take that. Forest Unknown. Okay, that would have been pretty good actually. And maybe we want Feast of Dreams. He's got one anyway. He's got a 2/4. Taps me down. Taps me down. And I will play another Disciple. Try and take his best card if he even... I don't know what else he has that he couldn't cast yet. Probably Elk Herd. Forest. Well, that wasn't great, but I'm just going to pass. We don't even have anything in the yard for... He's at least out of gas. Oh, or not. So pacifism on his guy might be good. He's making a 3/3. So we can obviously chump the servant. 3/3 is like more deadly than a 2/4 at this point. He's still got forest in hand. So here I can play pacifism Aven. I might even just sack my ground guy. Do I want... Is 2 cards better than a 1/3? I don't know. I really don't know. I think I'm just going to keep my board. And I'm going to put pacifism on the servant. Even though it's a smaller creature right now, it's going to get value when it dies if I try and combat it. And it has an aura on it already. Trying to stop his early rush here. If he attacks... I think I take it. I have a 5/5 coming. Ooh, and we have a Gary coming. We'll start with a 5/5. There's Gary. We're waiting for him all last game. Could attack. That's going to eat a Celestial Flare. Potentially. I mean, the attack could happen. But I feel like we're so far ahead. I'd rather get the devotion and all that. I guess we can attack and we can even... If it's a Celestial Flare, that's fine. I mean, I don't know what else it could be. And if we attack with both, we actually... I think we're okay. He had nothing. So I'm just going to play another Aven. Oh, he has nothing. So he's actually going to... He might take a dive next turn. Yeah. Because he can block, but he can go to 10. He goes to 1 here. So I'll just drop him to 1. And that should be all she wrote. That guy could be the Reach guy. I think Reach guy also is a morph. And this game was very quick and dirty. This game was nuts. He got a little flooded. I mean, we have 8 lands in play, so he didn't get that flooded. but this was just all tempo. Yep, GG's. I definitely appreciate the sense of humor. It's always good to try and keep a sense of humor. I, of course, have no sense of humor, so I fall short in that department. But for the rest of you, I highly encourage it. And there's the flare. So we just crack in. In fact, we'll just crack in with everybody. And what does he say? 3 lands on hand. We'll just crash in. And that's going to be it, guys. Another round in the books. This deck is showing promise. Definitely doing well. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. This is round 3 for the standard Pauper event. We're going to play first. And I guess we'll keep. It's not a great hand. It's actually fine though. Turn 3, read the bones. Okay. Sweet. Let's begin. Gotta try and play fast. I don't want to screw myself over, you know. The rats are here. Okay, I'm going to attack and play an Evolving Wilds. He's a green deck. Could be similar to the deck we faced in the first round. I don't know. Could be similar to the deck we faced in the third round. In the second round, rather. Green-white. So what does that say? Heroic? Cleric of the Forward Order. Well, we're both playing planes. We do have that in common, my friend. Okay, so I think we just keep our devotion up. There's a chance he can enchant this or something. I don't really need to get aggressive. I imagine I'm the control deck, as I think the longer the game goes, the more inevitability I should have with all of this devotion. And I'll take the fountain. I don't want the tapped land. The fountain will let me just curve out beautifully. And I will not, I repeat, I will not attack. But I need to make sure I play a swamp next turn, not the Radiant Fountain. A 1/3 flying renown 1, so it's going to become a 2/4. That's a little frightening. So let's see what's up with him. It's a chance we may want to attack, but probably not. Timberpack Wolf gets +1/+1 for each other Timberpack Wolf. So right now it's just Grizzly Bear as far as we know. Might of the Masses and whoa, Big Fat Fatty 4/4 Trampler. Now Might of the Masses is also a problem, but he's pretty far off from this. He might not even live long enough to cast this. So maybe that's our assumption, that a couple Garys and some attacks will get the job done. Might of the Masses right now is just a glorified giant growth. So I might actually take the wolf, even though it seems like wrong in the abstract. He has 2 other cards. The Maulers is going to be so annoying, but I'm going to take the wolf. I know that seems weird. And I am not going to attack. I'm going to maximize what I get out of the devotion, I think. Or try to, at least. Make him take 5, make him take 7. He's at a virtual whatever that is. 9. Yep, you got me. So I can't send Disciple into this. Just passes. Could also go Black Cat Nantuko Husk. It's actually not bad either. So he's representing like Celestial Flare or something. I think we just build the Devotion. We are taking hits in the air, which I don't like. But we can eventually attack with this Husk, I think. Maybe even send the Rats, but I'm going to wait. I want to get the full value out of the Devotion. In case he's playing Celestial Flare. We've seen a lot of those. He's not pressuring us that much. Now he's tapped out. Scry 2 and then draw a card. Okay. Draw a creature. So Might of the Masses. Mauler's coming down soon, so maybe it was incorrect. Caterpillar. Caustic Caterpillar. Destroy artifact or enchantment. Okay, that's not too bad. Never even heard of that card. It's called Caustic Caterpillar. That's ridiculous. I have no flyers currently. So now I think I'm going to get a little violent. We know he has Might of the Masses. It's a giant growth right now. You can play the Caterpillar and have it be +4/+4. So I think we send Husk, and probably that's it. If he takes it, he's going real low next turn. And it's really cool that we have these creatures like Husk and Merchant that take these creature mirrors and they just bust the door down. They really they turn, well, they don't turn them on their head, but they just break through. They completely, I don't know what the word is. They kind of just break the matchup. So what does this do? It cultivates or something? Yeah. Basically cultivate, and then he can get 2. He can get 3 instead of 2 otherwise. Okay. 5 cards in hand. We know 2 of them. So this thing can blow up pacifism. So if we wait on the... Oh, wow. So we can actually set up another Gray Merchant with this and Nantuko Husk. Not going to do that this turn. I'm just going to slam this. So what's that? 4, 6, 9. He's at 3. He has to block the Husk. What if I just attack with everything? He still has to block the Husk. He can't really double block anything. Well, he can. Yeah, I'm okay with this. Who's not okay with attacking a bunch of 1/1s into a board of 2 4s? Whoa, he didn't block! Okay. Well, that's game 1. He didn't block. I don't even know if that attack at the end was good, but guess it was alright. Okay, what now? I don't think we want duress. I mean, he's basically beating us down with renowned creatures and 2/2s and stuff, so the biggest fear is him out-tempoing us. So I think we're looking at the same type of cuts we've been making all tournament. I don't even know if we want Pillar of Light hits his flying renown guy. So that's probably good. Does have some 1/1s. Does have Non-black creatures, but I don't know that we want that. Don't think we want this either. Unfortunately, he does have that caterpillar, which stops our pacifisms. Want to try this card out, so I'm actually going to board into it. This is how we boarded last round, I think. Pretty sure. So we cut 3 black cats and a duress, 2 waltzes, a pillar, and an injury. And it's time to sip some water. Can we keep this hand? Well, it's a little shaky. We need a land, but I'm going to keep it. He could definitely tempo us out here. But I think overall, it's what we want. And it's what we get. Now I actually want to draw a 2-drop creature. Is that too much to ask for? Probably. Okay, he's going to play a grizzly bear. He's got plenty in his deck. He's got the wolf. He's got the cleric. A busted wolf draw could punish this hand. Yeah, let's get that. Okay, so we're curving out pretty well after this, but we're taking damage. So he has a huge opening to really hurt us. In fact, I'm just gonna F6 through this turn. There's absolutely nothing we could have. We're not representing anything here. So I'm doing what I should have done a long time ago. F6ing. Okay, so we're only taking 2, that's good. Forced into play, a forest in his hand. His lands match. I like this art. This actually was originally, I believe, a Lara art. I have some of these in my collection. Okay, so let's go ahead and read. I'm gonna read. We're gonna have to pitch something. I don't think we want either of these. We might end up pitching that waltz. Okay, what do we pitch here? We have 6 lands. Waltz might be important. It's not looking very important. We're not going to resolve that for a very long time. Yep. I mean, it's basically a 2-mana Read the Bones, but we can't cast it for, like I said, a very long time. Here comes his 5/5. Ooh, Death Touch. Yikes. That's scary. Well, I'm going to be taking some damage. I could chump it with the Emissary, but I don't think that uses our mana well enough. So we're going to have to give him a 3/4. We can deal with the 3/4 eventually. Plus, this takes a card. I mean, this is a subtly powerful guy. Well, this time it's not because he's got Forest, but a lot of the time, I mean, next turn if we opt to cast another one, we're gonna get something legitimately good. So what do you think, guys? Would you date a female centaur? I don't think I could bring myself to do it. This is too many risks. If you piss this chick off, she can cause you some major pain. But enough about that. Let's check the connection. I think the connection's fine. Ooh, what just happened? He cast another one, and I'm gonna block here. I guess he could have Might of the Masses to completely own me, but oh well. Yep. Maybe he does. Yep. Well, that saved me some damage, I guess. But we're way behind. I guess I have to play 2 emissaries. We're way behind. Way behind. I think we're just going to chump on the disciples. As it turns out, the waltz might have ended up being better. Yep. Block. What do we get? Ooh. We got to spend 7 mana on that, and that's just nothing. So that actually trades eventually. I don't think we need to do it right now. I guess we're reading here, or are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can't even flip it if I want to. I'm taking a ton of damage. I guess we have to read. I think we have to try and find a pacifism. I don't think we want these. I want something I can cast right now. And that is something. And that gets me back emissary, disciple, something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I block with this, I can get it back as Gurmag Angler. So I think I'm going to do that. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to try and do is morph here, morph and attendant here. He probably has a trick, but I still get Angler back. Disciple's not too great for me. We just gotta hope that this is what pans out. I mean, he's definitely got a trick, right? Right? Maybe not. Yep. I will get my Angler. Bring him back. So whatever his last card is, I think we can take it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we want to save the Gary. We'll start with this, make sure the coast is clear. We're actually in great shape now. As long as the top of his deck is not incredibly kind to him. You want to take 4 cards that are not creatures. Hide the pacifism. Hwah. So I think we may have stabilized. And we'll go ahead and trade. Well, I might take 1 hit. He could have the 4/4 guy. I think I might take 1 hit. Yeah, I'll take 1 hit. Take it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are still short. Do I want to get really greedy? I want to get really greedy. This is only one other point of devotion, though. I don't care. Seriously. He could have double Might of the Masses. Right? He could have that. I guess I'd have to block at that point. I guess I would lose to double Might of the Masses. right? It's no, it's only 7. Okay, well that works. He's not even attacking anymore. I'll merchant first before sending the Aven. So I gained 6. 15 plays 16. That really just look how it went from 22 to 9 to me having a higher life total. It went from being at 9 against 22 to me having a higher life total. It's crazy. Just pass, okay? Well, we are flooded. But so is he. Sure. I mean, this could still go his way. There's a lot of things he can do to blow us out. Okay, he's attacking now. I think I'll just take it. If he has double might, I go to 6. I mean, Celestial Flare could hurt us. If he had the 4/4 Maulers, that could hurt us. There's a pacifism, I like that. So do I just attack? I think so. Well, we don't show him that yet. We attack for 8. Just chump blocks. Whoa. Oh, he's got a might. Okay. He's got a might. Alright. Give a second. Nope. Pacifism. So a 2/4 and a 1/3 versus a 1/1. I'm going to save this land in case I draw another macabre waltz. Another macabre waltz. Another macabre waltz. Whoa. Doing the Elvish Visionary dance. Is he going to attack? Is he not? Is he going to attack? Is he not? Okay, 1 card. Yep, I'll bite. Let's do it. You got a flare? Do you have 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 a flare? So that's a lot of his tricks that he's drawn. So I think we're doing pretty good. I will attack with my 2/4. And we're only saving 1 land for the waltz. For the Christoph waltz. Okay, so get a bunch of lands. Get a bunch of lands. 1 goes into play. 2 goes into his hand. He's at 7. Ha 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 ha. We don't want to show him this yet. Actually, we do, right? We just get the Disciple and the Angler. We could get the Aven. But I think just taking his best card still just what we want to do. And I'll pitch my swamp. Make sure the coast is clear. He probably just has nothing. But we want to make sure. We know two of them are forests. So how good was that waltz? It was alright. It's actually pretty good. Getting this angler back is pretty much going to win. I think. Should win. And that would mean a 3-0 victory for this deck. I don't think we dropped a game. Pretty cool. I think devotion is a strong strategy. I think we've demonstrated that today and previously. So, do you use harsh sustenance? Oh. I think it's fine to let him know that there's a card that's not in my deck. Okay, we can alpha here. Even if he has flare, I have another angler. So just keep it going. Oh, and that is that. So guys, we 3-0'd this event. There's going to be a cut to top 8, but I'm going to drop from the event, let the other players get a shot at prizes, and also spare you guys from watching 5 or 6 matches, and spare me from whatever. So, yeah, devotion seems to be a very viable strategy here. It really breaks apart these creature mirrors because your disciples, your gray merchants, your anglers hit the table, and they punch through these board stalls. You don't want to contribute to the board stall. You want to get through it. You want to play haymakers and powerful cards. So I think this is one way you can go about doing that in Standard Pauper. Thank you guys for tuning in to this installment of Dime Dozen.